Welcome back, guys. Jumping right in today. So new home sale prices across the country are down 19% from the peak, according to wolfstreet.com. That is a similar situation to what we are seeing here down in Southwest Florida because they're building so much. But also, that does not include any incentives that the builder provides. So that's just price off the top. When you really start throwing in buy downs and different things like that, it can be quite significant. So when people ask, why are we seeing price decreases in Charlotte County? Why are we seeing price decreases in North Port, Florida, Cape Coral, similar places? Most of the time, the answer is, well, they just got hit with a massive hurricane. But it's also a case of we're building a ton of inventory right now. As you guys have seen, anytime I go out on one of these walks, there's pretty much new construction all over the place. Even down here in Punta Gorda Isles, there's a lot of houses being built. We had one that recently went up for $1.2 million on the corner by me, and I thought it was a little rich, but the for sale sign's gone. It wasn't completed that long ago. So they're just, and down the street is another one for $1.2 million, unfortunately, which I had mentioned in a previous video. That's 30 years old. So if you're looking at the two equaling out, which one do you think people are going to go for? So not only is the new construction bringing its own prices down through competition, but obviously bringing the existing sale prices down as well. Our median price per square foot around here has gone down, I'd say about 10% from the peak. If you guys saw my Northport update, you could see some of the median square footage numbers in there. Honestly, Northport, Charlotte County, and Cape Coral are really some of the only places we've seen median price decline in Florida over the past year. We're just not getting back to those peaks, though every now and then we'll hit like an average price all-time high, but the median is still trending in one direction, causing people who know that I'm in the industry to come up to me and ask, hey, how accurate are these estimates? Because I feel like mine's really low. I'm like, ugh. I don't know if it's it's way higher than it was 3 years ago, guys, but it's not, those estimates are not what they were in 2022. Fancy trick that Zillow tends to play is whatever I list the house at, that's this estimate number. It's got to be right there. Lately, I've been seeing it's actually below that. It's between 1 to 5% below whatever the house is listed at. And as price drops are done, it drops down further. So what I want to know, what are they really doing? What algorithm are they really using that if I drop the price of a house, 50 grand, your estimate immediately goes in the same direction? It's kind of strange. Actually passing the Punta Gorda Isles Firehouse right here as we go by. So that's causing new sales, even though their prices are going down, their total sales are up. And existing sales are down because people are going in that direction. Now, they just also announced that they're planning on building 10,000 more homes here off the Burnt Store corridor in Punta Gorda over the next couple of years. What do you guys think that's going to do for existing home sales when they drop 10,000 more in the area on top of everything we're already building? So guys, this is kind of crushing resale sellers in the area. Unless you have a very unique property, unless you have a very unique location, it's making it very hard to justify, some of the prices when similar houses built brand new cost exactly the same. Now, I understand a lot of these new homes are in developments and they come with their own caveats, CDD fees and things like that. But the benefits are also there as well, guys. And people are looking at that, and a lot of people are gravitating towards that direction. One of the problems I'd say we had in my specific area, like the Charlotte County area, is we didn't have enough HOAs. There is a demand for that product, and now they're being supplied. So people who wanted to get into a gated community with certain amenities didn't have too many options around Charlotte County that's being expanded, especially with these 10,000 homes coming. So I continue to see this just push existing home prices down. I'm looking at some homes in Northport, homes that, 1,800 square foot homes, 3-4 beds, maybe 3 beds with a den, that I would have sold for $400,000 in the peak. And these things are closing at $320,000, $330,000, and they've got seller assists on top of it. Their inventory is pretty high, though I had someone ask, you think we'll ever see $300,000 pool homes in Northport? And you can see that right now, depending on what style of property you're interested in. I mean, you get a 2-2 with a carport for a pool in older built home, obviously, but it's doable. The thing with Northport is they have about 1,092 active single-family home listings as of the end of March. Only 195 of those are pool homes. So I think pool homes in Northport kind of will stay, they'll fare a little better than anything else, just because even if you build, the price to put a pool on right now is sitting close to, it's at least 80 to 100,000 if you want to do pavers and the cage, and that's not even factoring in build time. So there's going to be, I think pool homes hold up better in the Northport area than the regular single families will, because they're not going to be a direct competitor to the new construction. Now, Charlotte County, on the other hand, let me check my notes. Charlotte County has 2,796 single-family homes listed as of the end of March on the MLS, and there are 1,208 with a pool. So a lot different numbers there. Northport's pool numbers are way lower. Charlotte County, it's almost a third of all the homes listed are coming with a pool. So that's going to be a little different there. The new construction, again, it's still going to be cheaper to probably buy a house with a pool than to build one. But, and I will add that of those 2,796 single-family homes available, 769 of those are new construction. Now, Charlotte County is a much bigger area than Northport. They don't have that many more homes listed, though. But to see that many of the existing homes have a pool was kind of surprising to me for this region. To have 1,028 pool homes on the market in Charlotte County was a big shocker, because I'm sure you guys can, some of you guys looking can remember. Yeah, I can remember when there was like 100. There was nothing. You had nothing to show anybody. So it's really insane to see these drastic inventory buildups. And the new construction is not just hurting sellers, guys. It's also kicking landlords in the butt. We cannot move our rental inventory here in Charlotte County. It does not look like Lee County can move their rental inventory at all either. It's just kind of been stable through the whole season. It's come down from where we were in the highs of the fall, but it has not really budged. And I mean, I don't know what to tell people anymore, because they're asking me what's the price point, and when I tell them a low price point to get the place rented, and they cringe, and then they do it, and it still doesn't work, I'm honestly speechless. I don't know what to say to them at this point. Things that should be getting rented, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom houses, almost brand new, built in 2020, 2-car garage, nice community pool, gated, 1,800, is not getting hits on it, and that's really surprising to me. So I have to wonder, as I've mentioned previously, have all the renters just gone out and either left the area, moved in with family, or are they taking advantage of some of these new construction deals? Because with a relatively low down payment, if they buy you down, you can get close, if not better than these asking rents on some of these. Another landlord trend I'm seeing, because I do follow a lot of these groups, unfortunately, is they're asking how to remove prior rental listing data. So they don't want people like on Zillow to be able to see that they've had this house up for rent for 4 to 5 months. They've dropped $500-600 and they still can't get it rented. They don't want people to know that for obvious reasons, but so they're asking in the groups, like, how do I get this off there? And there's really no way to do it that I'm aware of. This is what I saw last June. I put a video out, well, I guess June, it's not last June yet. I put a video out in June called the, basically the rental apocalypse is here in Florida. And this was what I was seeing at the time. You know, rents that were $3,000 were getting slashed to $2,500, getting slashed down to $2,300, $500-700 asking price drops, and they still weren't getting rented. And now I'm seeing it occur again as we come out of season, but the prices have gone down into the 2,000 range. So, these are obviously for 3-4 bedroom houses and things like that, but it's really shocking me to kind of see, I almost feel like I'm in Groundhog Day and I'm watching the same rental situation develop, and none of the inventory really moved all season. So I don't know. I just see rent prices softening. This is at a time when, of course, over the past 5 months, nationally rent prices have declined. On average, they were up 1% last month. Finally, after 5 months of losses, they gained some traction back, but I think it's just going to continue to go right back in that direction. So the theme has always been massive supply increase here, guys. We're starting to see it finally take effect on some things, though, as I've mentioned on my price charts videos, not seeing the price movement some people desire, but deals are out there to be had if you're interested. The addition of 10,000 more houses in Punta Gorda over the next couple of years, I don't foresee that causing prices to rise, guys. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but coming out of season, still having a lot of inventory. Though, like I mentioned, March was a killer sales month for Charlotte County. I anticipate it's going to be that way across Southwest Florida. We sold more homes in 1 month in March than I've seen. I don't even know. I'll have to go back and double check it because I don't want to misquote. But I've got to say it's at least since last summer. I wouldn't be surprised if we get close to 500 homes sold. As you guys know, we've been putting around, 380, something like that. So a really huge increase. But like I've been telling everybody, March is our frenzy. April, I expect, is going to be pretty strong as well. But March is our prime time to act here. And I think we'll see it continue into April. But when they keep building and building and building, and you guys have seen every area I walk through, houses everywhere. I go to Westport, houses everywhere. Welland Park, houses everywhere. Northport, houses everywhere. Now 10,000 more in Punta Gorda. That's what we've all been hoping for. We need this. We need all this building. And landlords too, all the apartments, they're coming online. So that might be the reason nobody's renting the existing homes either, because they're all just going to these new apartments because they're throwing pretty sweet deals at them, though I think the rents are still astronomically high. But, when they'll give you 2 or 3 months or waive deposits and who knows what else, they are really trying to fill these things. Another thing I want to touch on is the insurance situation, because you guys ask about it. Still no relief in sight, guys. I have to caution everybody. When you are purchasing anywhere, really, not just Southwest Florida, but, specifically here, make sure that your inspection period, if you can be reasonable and you feel it's warranted, make sure you can get an inspection period long enough to start getting some insurance quotes back. What I don't want to see, especially right now, because they can be so drastically different than what the seller is telling you that they're paying. And that's based on a variety of factors. How many claims you've had in the past, your credit score, how many claims have been on this property, can change a lot of things. I've had sellers who are paying $4,000 basically tell me that I'm crazy when I come back and say, hey, my buyer's got an $8,500 quote for the same house. And that's the kind of discrepancies that I'm seeing, guys. So you really want to get that quote before your inspection period, your due diligence period is expired, because after that, it's a little harder, to say, now I'm stuck. I can't get out. That my personal advice, everybody do their own thing. The last thing you want to do, guys, is get locked into a contract where you just found out your insurance is going to be 2 times, maybe 3 times higher than you thought it was. If you have a mortgage, that could kill your loan right there. And, that'll take care of itself. But that's the things that I caution people for right now. When you go under contract, and like I said, I'm annoying. When you go under contract, I start bothering you. If I'm your buying agent right away, let's get inspection set up as fast as we can. Let's get the results back. I want to know the wind mitigation, the 4-point inspection. We need to send those to insurance and get quotes on what it's going to look like to insure this place, because I don't know what's going to come back. People will ask me, what's your best guess estimate? And normally, on like a block house built in the last 20 years, I'll say, could be anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 without flood. I want to add, guys, that $8,500 quote is without flood. And the only one that I saw better than that was Citizens, and it wasn't much better. So I'll caution you on Citizens in a second as well. So I advise always get your insurance quotes in, get your tax estimates in, call the county. Call the county and say, hey, what's my taxes on this going to be before your inspection period is over. Now, people generally find ways to make things work, but I think it's better to be transparent and have that stuff out there, which again brings me back to Citizens Insurance. Citizens is the insurer of last resort here in the state. It was never meant to be a long-term option, and they are pushing that back. So consider that if you get a Citizens quote, understand that, 1, you may get dropped in the future or force-placed on a higher policy if it's within 20% of what they're offering. But 2, they're also phasing in flood insurance, guys. So people will say, I'm in an X flood zone. My mortgage isn't going to make me carry flood insurance. Technically, that's true. Also, an X flood zone is still a flood zone. It's just not a very active one. It's one of the lesser active ones, but all of Florida's generally a flood zone. So people will say, I don't need to carry flood insurance. Well, Citizens has ruled that you do. If they're going to provide coverage on your home, whether you're in an X flood zone or not, they're going to phase in the next couple of years where they're going to require you to carry that flood. So these are things you got to watch out for, guys. You need to be on top of your game in your due diligence. Consider all these things, not just the repairs with the house, but looking forward. What's my tax bill going to be like? What's my insurance bill going to be like? What do the next couple of years of the insurance climate look like in Florida? You have to factor in these things. That is what I got for you today, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.